This story began as a family legend. I'd heard of it since a little boy. I was familiar with stories of inventors and dreamers in my family, mechanical geniuses who could apparently fix anything. They'd lived in Baghdad, Tasmania since the 19th century, and it was here that my great-grandfather Edgar Bantic grew up. One of his obsessions was with the invention of a self-propelling engine that would never need fuel. But it was his venture with his eldest son Henry that most captured my imagination. I never knew Henry. He died many years before I was born.
Have you seen the well-to-do upon Lennox Avenue, on that famous thoroughfare?
It was the 1920s. The Great War was long over, and the Depression was still to come.
Spending every dime for a wonderful time.
The movies were an escape from the distant shores of Tasmania. But there were no movie theatres in small towns like Baghdad, so Henry and his father brought the movies to them.
Well, my father had a farm on the Pelham Road near Hamilton, and the Bantics, that's Henry Bantic and his father, used to come in and have afternoon tea on their way to various places showing films.
See, they took all the seats around from right around the hall, and they put them across here like that. And the old lady sitting up on the playing the music. It was really nice.
I mean, it's all, in fact, when it first shown at Baghdad, we were only young people. We all tripped down first, and we all wanted the front seat because we, it's our relation.
Charlie Chaplin's films are the ones that they stick in my mind. Of course, being only a young kid at the time, that was the type of film that stuck in my memory.
So somebody always there to play a piano. One time we had at Teeptree there, I think it was Teeptree or Kempton, the piano player never turned, so nobody worried. There were two entries to see in the film, because it was actually a novelty because nobody in the country seen films, see?
Well, I first heard about it through my mother, Violet Matilda Rose. When I was a young man, she told me that my grandfather at that time was showing silent films throughout the country areas. Her brother, Edgar's son Henry, was quite a brilliant young man apparently.
He was a very intelligent man. He was able to improvise, especially with wiring and batteries and lights and so on.
But there was a part of a camera gone wrong, two parts of the camera in the theatre, home theatre, and he got the camera out and he made the parts.
The electricity was provided by a dynamo, and what they actually had to do was jack up the vehicle and put a system of belt on the wheel with the wheel off, and generate the electricity for the projector in that fashion.
He used to give me small scraps of film, and I used to put it into a viewer, and I thought that was marvellous. In those days, it didn't take much to amuse a child, you know.
Oh, lovely, nice tall boy with lovely dark hair, and really nice. And he thought I was Christmas on a stick. But that's the only time I ever saw him, was when the pictures was on.
A sketch of the 1929 or 26 Studebaker, made up as a van, or caravan as they called it, to house the film projector.
And Henry built a type of a box covering around the front section of the vehicle where the passenger and the driver sat, and that excluded the view from either left or right of the vehicle. which was quite a subject of comment by people who saw it. He had a good vision from looking straight ahead, but not each side, and I don't think that was to his advantage with this tragic accident.
I saw the van, the little van, go right past, and we waved to them. See? And then they waved back. Then they only had to go along a stretch like that, and that was the hall, Tea Tree Hall, in walking distance, not far. And we heard this terrific bang.
Well, in 1929, this would have been the entrance to the actual hall, and my grandfather and his son Henry would have driven down here, and the unknown person opened the gate here, opened the fire gate, and actually waved them through.
Heard it from Dad in the first place. I was only about 4 years old, I think, when it happened. But he spoke about it later, not very much, and he said that he was heading over to the local hall for a picture show, I think, and naturally gates were on railway crossings in those days, so he stopped his car and got out and opened the gate, and as he was getting back in, Mr. Bantic obviously sort of jumped in ahead of him and went across the line, and that's when the train hit him.
Henry was driving the vehicle. He was on the driver's side, and my grandfather Edgar was on the passenger side, and they got up onto the line, and the train came and smashed into them, killing Henry instantly, and my grandfather was thrown out onto the railway line further down, and the van with all the camera equipment and the film was carried down the line and virtually smashed to pieces.
10 to 6.
10 to 6.
10 to 6, because the train would leave Hobart at 4:45, and the guard, according to the evidence, stated that he looked at his watch and it was around between 10 to and 5 to 6.
Right.
We ran down to see it, but you see, it's bits and pieces of everything. I'm not going to say what.
And I seen it when I was a young bloke, so I had to look at it. It was all scratched up, just lying there. And it's still lying in the same place, and that was there till 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
On that famous thoroughfare, with their noses in the air, high hats and colored collars, white spats and $15, spending every dime for a wonderful time. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where Harlem lives? Putting on the wrist, spangled gowns upon the bevy of high brows from down the levee, all misfits, putting on the wrist. That's where each and every